Kai was a 16-year-old boy who lived in a small village. His life was simple, revolving around school, helping his parents with household chores, and playing cricket with his friends in the evenings. Despite his cheerful nature, Kai often struggled with understanding relationships. Whether it was his overprotective parents, his younger sister who annoyed him, or his best friend who sometimes ignored him for new friends. One evening, Kai sat under the old tree near his house. It was his favorite spot to think. His grandfather noticed him sitting there and walked over carrying 2 cups of tea. You look like you're fighting with your thoughts, Grandpa said, handing Kai a cup. Kai took a sip and sighed. Grandpa, why do people keep changing? Mom and Dad scold me even when I try my best. My sister takes my things without asking, and my best friend barely talks to me these days. It's like no one understands me. Grandpa smiled, his wrinkled face glowing in the sunset. Let me tell you a story. Grandpa began. A long time ago, there was a carpenter. He was the best in the village, always making beautiful furniture. But he had one problem. He never sanded the wood properly before painting. When people complained about uneven surfaces, he would get upset and argue. Over time, fewer people came to him for work. One day, his father told him, "The problem isn't the wood, my son. It's how you treat it. Sand it. Smooth out the rough edges, and the wood will shine." The carpenter took his father's advice. Slowly, he became patient with the process, and his work improved. Soon, people admired his furniture again. Grandpa stopped the story and looked at Kai. Do you know what that story means? Kai shook his head. Relationships are like that wood, Kai. They come with rough edges. Your parents scold you because they care and want to make you better. Your sister takes your things because she looks up to you. Your best friend might be distant now, but maybe he's figuring out his own path. Instead of walking away, you need to smooth out the rough edges. Listen, talk, and be patient. Kai stared at his tea, letting the words sink in. But what if they don't change? He asked. Then you keep sanding, my boy, Grandpa said. Because relationships aren't about changing others, they are about improving how we handle them. From that day on, Kai began observing more than reacting. He helped his sister with her homework instead of yelling when she borrowed his books. He spoke openly to his best friend and learned his friend was struggling with family problems. He even started talking to his parents about his feelings instead of bottling them up. Over time, Kai realized Grandpa was right. Relationships didn't have to be perfect, they just needed care, effort, and a little sanding to shine. Remember, setting boundaries, prioritizing, and practicing empathy are key to maintaining healthy and fulfilling connections. It's also important to take care of yourself so you can show up fully for others.